Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again. And we've got a fun match that we did after this past tournament on Wednesday. We did a purple Luffy versus Law game here up against my man Kevin, and he's taking a look at some of the just some of the trades that I might have in my little binder right there before we get started. And this was a matchup I haven't tried, haven't played because I just haven't really had a lot of practice against Law in much of OP05, nor with purple Luffy, if I'm being completely honest. But super solid match this ends up being, and yeah, this is one of those things where I think that purple Luffy came into the game at such a perfect stage for it. It initially wasn't super gonna be super hot against a lot of these red decks and a lot of aggressive matches. Like, I do think that Law overall is just inherently a pretty bad matchup for this deck, but my opponent does get down the Chopper blocker as well as a Bonnie on turn 1. Pretty solid, and as you can see, his hand is stacked. He's got the Nami, he's got another Bonnie there. He is just going to take that 5k swing for free pretty much. And now I'm going to go ahead and ramp one Dawn here, and I'll go ahead and play a page 1 just for 4. I think I had a Poly in hand. I do, as well as a 9-cost Kaido, so I do have a pretty dang good curve here. I'm trying to make sure that I get the most out of it. But the 5k swing is going to put down a Curly to Dawn. Luckily for us, or I guess lucky enough, he is going to bottom deck one of the Zoros, but then pick up a Makino. Now getting down now getting down Nami does find the other Zoro. So I was like, I was really hoping to dodge that card. Sadly, not the case though. And using that final Dawn to get down Bonnie. I know that Bonnie is going to be a problem this match, especially with how much he's going to be able to search and just get up all the cards that he needs for the matchup. And I'll go ahead and use Leader's Effect though to get up to 7. I'll KO one of the Bonnies and ramping a Dawn. I am just going to attach this to page 1 and swing 7. I don't hate it at the end of the day, but you know, it is one of those like tough calls. Like, do you starve Law at this point in the game, or do I just keep trying to be aggressive? I do need to get his life points down to, you know, a lower point eventually, because I want to play 9-cost Kaido and I want to be as aggressive as possible. We're gonna see an Otama coming down though, and lowering the page 1, a 6k swing into it. I am gonna just 1k counter, if I remember correctly, for forgetting for some reason that he used Otama on the page 1. And so I do give him a little bit of information here, and I'm like, oh shoot, that's right, you did use that. I was like, oh yep, I'm just gonna let that go. Yeah, there's no shot I'm defending that. And now we're going to see a Zoro attacking into life, and I'll just go ahead and pitch the same card that I did show. So go ahead and get rid of Law, and now we've got a Zoro to deal with, but I know that I can get rid of it pretty freely if I use the 9-cost Kaido. I'm just kind of basing what he will do off of this 7k swing, so I'll go 7 into the Zoro. He will just let this go, which I'm very happy with. I'm going to go 5 into the Zoro here. It's more than likely just going to get a card out of hand, or he realizes that I have 9 Dawn up and the card's just going to be KO'd regardless. If he does counter out though, it does force me to swing into it, so he is going to get rid of the Sanji to protect it. Now, I'm not the hugest fan of what I did here. I go ahead and choose to KO the Zoro and not swing into it with the Kaido. I think I should have just KO'd like Nami right here and then swing into the Zoro with Kaido. But instead, I go for life and I try to be a little more aggressive. I'm not the biggest fan of this because it allows him to get back up to 5 characters very easily, and to restart that shambles mechanic. And now we're going to see the 2 Dawn getting rested though for a Bonnie here. He's got the restand Law, so he's just going to go ahead and pick that up. I know that his hand is stacked, and I'm like, man, he is not missing with these Bonnies either, so this is tough. Here comes another Bonnie. Gonna be another 2 Dawn getting rested. And then my man David actually just won using Bello Betty that night, and he took the Kaido winner that he got and swapped it out for my terrible little normal Kaido. So now we've got that beauty on the board, just chilling, waiting to do some work. He did show me that he picked up a a restand law and a blocker law right there though. And with 4 Dawn remaining, he could just swing pretty heavy into Poly, or he could try and get life down at this point. He's also got the Shambles to work with, so a 7k swing with lead a 6k here, potentially Shambles into the Rush Zoro to get out Zoro, or no, just get out the blocker law, bring back one of the Bonnies, then put out the Zoro. Swinging 5 into life here. I am just going to go ahead and counter out of this, though. I'm not trying to let my life get too low at this point in the game. And luckily enough for us, though, with the Bonnie searches, he has kept his hand count high. And if I remember correctly, we are going to be playing that 4-cost law here. I'm asking exactly how many cards do you have in hand. And, oh, did I add 3 Dawn? Did I add 3 Dawn there? Or no, I think I just took 1 Dawn off the character. Yeah, because I should be at, that's correct. I should be at 7 Dawn. And I got super lucky with this law. I end up getting the Bonnie as well as the Rad Beam. I'm super happy. I'm ecstatic about it because getting the Rad Beam out of hand is pretty massive for me having such a large board. But also just getting just getting that other Bonnie as well pretty much solidifies that I have KO'd all of the Bonnies in this game. I am going to go 5 into this. I wanted to see if he would rest the blocker, but he was smart. He did not. And I was like, bummer. I really wanted to. But 8 into Zoro here. He is thinking about countering out. If he does, though, he's going to have to give up that blocker law. And now I'm just going to go 10 into life. He'll go ahead and take it, and I'll pass it back over. Being at 6 Dawn, I know that next turn I'm going to be at 8, and then I can use leader ability to potentially play another 9-cost Kaido. I don't think we have it in hand right now, though, if I'm not mistaken. This Kaido is becoming a bit of a problem for him. I do feel as though I've made a few mistakes this match, though. I could have capitalized on a lot of things and made the matchup just a little bit more inconvenient for him. However, my opponent seeing 3 Bonnies is pretty dang good. Can't really complain about that. And he is going to get the Sanji 2k counter off the Nami search. This does allow him to Shambles, but I don't think he has a ton of green cards in hand. I think he just has the restand law. So being able to get some of these cards down is what? Oh, say what? Okay, so we both made some mistakes this game. So he can swing with the Nami because he had the other one on board already. So it doesn't really matter what Nami he swung with, but he did just play the Makino. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you could just play the Makino and activate it. What am I thinking? I'm just looking at it because I was confused because he just played that Nami in particular, but it doesn't really matter. He had the other Nami on board. So all good. 8k though, so I think it was like a 6 into Poly and now an 8k swing into Poly, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just considering whether I want to counter out of this or not. And if I do, it looks as though we have the 0-cost event in hand. I'm trying to stay aggressive, so I do choose to keep it and defend with the 0-cost event. But Shambles is going to come down here, bringing back the Makino, and then restanding that Nami right there. Get another search through. It looks as though he finds the rush Luffy, but also finds Chopper, so not too shabby. Could replace the other, at least one of the Namis with Chopper if he wanted to, but another 8k swing coming down into Poly. I know that I'm gonna have some work cut out for me if I want to try and go for game the following turn, and I decide to defend it. A little risky, but I do feel like I have a lot of power here, and I know that it's going to take a lot for him to be able to defend this. And now I'm just kind of thinking of what is the order, how do I need to go about this. The one cost chopper is a bit annoying simply because it stops my 10k Kaido swing for free essentially, but I'll just go ahead and get that out without using any Dawn. And now I just got to get through one block, and I feel fairly confident just going 9 here. I'm just going to go 9 and see if we're either getting a lot of cards out of hand or we're getting the block. And he does counter out with 3 there. I think it was the Sanji, Otama, and Nico Robin, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll go ahead and swing 8 as well. Leaving 3 active to potentially go for a law swing, but he uses Makino and both restand laws to get out of it. And now I'm sitting here looking silly. Oh, I actually only had 2 Dawn left. I'm sitting here looking silly, and I'm like, oh man. So I guess I'll just leave 2 Dawn active, keep the blocker up, and it's looking as though we're probably going to take this L right here. I believe my last card in hand was the 0 cost event, if I remember correctly. Which does give me a little bit of a shot. Like, whatever card I just drew into now will allow me to get to 8k here, but 7,000 into life, I'm gonna have to take that one. And now he attaches 4 and he goes another 7k. I am thinking about it because I do have the ability to get out of this with the cards in hand, but I'm looking at how much Dawn he has left, and I'm expecting to see a 7, or excuse me, an 8 and an 8. So I choose to take it, and I was like, I took the gamble on whether I'd get a 1k counter or not, and he swings 8. I'll go ahead and block, and he swings 8. I can counter to 8, and then I got the 1k counter out of life, so I can get to 9. Actually insane. I couldn't believe that I was able to get the game there. I think it came down to Law getting really lucky and getting that Bonnie and Radical Beam, but I also misplayed quite a bit on some turns that definitely could have been a bit better. Yeah, and then and then me just thinking that he swung with the Nami, but I was like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. He already had the one on board. But solid matches as always, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Other than that, I hope you have a great day, and peace.
He's been looking forward to your arrival with great eagerness.